every once in a while something happens, and the viral lifestyle in which we live today kicks in, and something becomes kind of larger than it should be, but also larger than you ever expected. The Will Osprey comments about the merch became such, and this is of course AEW putting it in the announcements and stuff, and kind of playing. Was that who put it in the? Was it TNA or AEW? That was AEW. That was what's the hell's the the announcer's name?
Oh, Justin Roberts.
Justin Roberts, exactly.
Justin Roberts. He said Kenny Omega in.
That's exactly correct. Okay.
The All Out 2022 that no one's gonna remember for any of the matches. When Kenny Omega came out to the ring for that, Justin Roberts introduced Kenny Omega as there's a long list of accolades, and one of the accolades was Kevin Nash's newest favorite wrestler.
Absolutely, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Yes. So that happens. So then naturally, it goes berserk after that. But it all started with a very simple tweet related to the business of wrestling. Okay, so here is the stiff one of the week, which was in tweet form. So the stiff one this week takes us to Twitter. So as opposed to video, we're going to go to Twitter here. And it has become known as the Will Osprey incident. And it's what everyone's talking about, Kevin. We're going to be topical here. It's what everyone's talking about.
I'm glad. Now, I didn't know you guys were going to do this, because I'm so glad that you're bringing this up, because this is such bullshit.
So the initial tweet that you read was, if we can bring it up, from Wrestling Banana. Thank you very much. So Will Osprey has had more 5-star matches in 1 month than CM Punk, John Cena, and Kurt Angle have combined in their entire career. 3. Kev's response was, how's his merchandise sales? And I have a theory about this, Kevin. Let me tell you my theory before you reply. Had they stopped at the first part of that tweet, where it said Will Osprey had more 5-star matches for this month than anyone else, and they didn't go on to call anybody out, I don't think you would have reacted.
I would not. I wouldn't have said a thing.
Right. It was the fact that they're using stars to somehow make a comparison between guys that have drawn zillions of dollars for the company over time.
You're talking about 3 guys that nobody has less than 15 million net worth. And the thing is if you go back to my response, can we pull that back up? Okay. Not how are your merchandise sales, how's his merchandise sales? That response is to Wrestling Banana. It's not to Will. Will didn't make the statement.
Right.
So I'm in no way saying anything to Will. That was directed to Wrestling Banana. Then they came back and said, oh, what did we stir up? No, you fucking assholes. You're the ones that are you got the narrative, not Will. You're using Will to I mean, it's bullshit. I've never seen Will work a match in my life.
But the emphasis on stars now, I mean, this was all an outgrowth of the dirt sheets, right? When they started rating guys' matches as opposed to letting the box office be the rating. I mean, that was the star back in the 80s or the early 90s before everyone started getting the sheets. The Door, that was the star. Those were the stars on that card. It's a 5-star match if we sold every seat in the house. We had less than 5-star matches if we had a half a house, and then if you drew 6,000 in Uniondale with the Punk Out Stampede, you said that's low starage. So is
that what that drew, 6,000?
I think so. Yeah, the pay-per-view. So I think this is an age thing. I think people who remember wrestling back in the day don't put as much emphasis on stars, but I think guys that are like 30 and 35, they like live and die by the stars, by the work rate, by the ring.
I remember the first time I got in the ring with Hulk, and we were working against each other, And I came in there with the big, I've always been a cement mixer, always fucking locked up stiff. And I locked up stiff, and Hulk looked at me and he went, easy, brother. We already got their money. And I was just like, fuck yeah. This is why you're Hulk Hogan, man. Like, yeah, fuck, easy, brother. Walk and talk. Tell a story. Hey, I got an idea. Remember that one time we got in that street fight and we both did that fucking deal where we did like a double, triple fucking Lindy and landed on our feet, and then fucking I ran up and then you helped me run up the ropes. Then you kind of you helped me get my balance so I could fucking jump up and hook my legs around the back of your head, and I could fucking drop you on your ass, and then God forbid if we had a 6-man tag match, because what happens is I get stopped and get fucking posted inside the ring. It goes outside. Those 5 guys continue to fight. What else can I fucking do but run, hit the opposite rope, and catapult into the 5 guys who are now fighting outside? And it just seems like it's like, God, like, what are the chances of that happening every week? That exact moment just occurs you would think at some point, if you were fighting in a group of people, you'd be like, oh, fuck, man. We've got the advantage right now because we dropped that guy in the ring. Maybe if we just separated real quick, when he catapults, he'll land on his guys, and then we can beat the fuck out of him on the floor. But what am I? Never mind.
The choreography turns one off if you are watched from a certain generation. I even thought. Now, remember the spoiler would walk the ropes. He would get a guy in like a wrist lock, and then stand up in the top rope, but using that guy for balance. And I'm 10, and I'm going, why the fuck doesn't this guy just pull? He's in a wrist lock or whatever. Just pull. You're going to take the guy off. That little bit was enough to distract me. But again, this is a different time. So
yeah,
I guess
yet Taker did it and got away with it.
Taker did do that same thing, didn't he?
He got away with it because it was so impressive for a 6'9", 10 guy to do it, and he just did it cool. I mean, it was just a fucking. But a lot of times, man, I remember one time he was working with I think at the time Papa was Kama, and Kama fucking he pulled him. He'd pull him off the top rope, and that would start the heat.
That's a great spot.
Yeah.
Okay, so now then a response to that tweet comes to your tweet comes in from, let's get that back up, from Kenny Omega. When you said, how's his merchandise sales? He said, justifiably putrid, good sir. Did you see that?
Yes.
You did see that. Okay. Did you write him back?
I smiled, as I am now. I think that's. I mean, I don't think there's any love lost between those two.
Michael, I am not by any shape or imagination a podcast kind of guy. I'm an AM sports radio kind of guy. But fuck me, Kevin Nash is by far the best podcast I have listened to. Sorry, Taskmaster. Hashtag rub one out to Big Sexy. So we know what Michael's doing while he's listening.
Hey, anytime I can help a brother drop a little rope out of his fucking urethra, I'm all for it.
It must have been the week you wore the tank top. That might have been. That might have been the one.
Can you see my shirt? I'm fucked.
It says forever.
Oh, bad guy.
Bad guys last.
Bad
forever.
guys last. Yeah. So appropriate to fucking have it on it and have the fucking. Here, well, there we go.
Yeah, well, we can blur anything out.
Ah, fuck that, man. Been seeing those houses on Raw? Those fucking man, they go that live shot. It looks like a pay-per-view crowd every Monday night. What the fuck's going on over there?
Well, we've mentioned this. That's the thing no one's going to be able to compete with. So other companies need to fucking stop trying. They're not going to be the same thing.
I fucking they roped me in with fucking CM Punk versus Moxley, And Moxley's it was the interim champion because Punk got hurt. He had the belt. So I said, hey, fuck, I'm gonna watch this because anytime like Jericho wrestles, I always watch Chris's matches. And him and Moxley had a good match. So I said, fuck, I said, I'll go ahead and watch this. And I don't know what they're doing over there is a fucking thing I hate, is they're booking for the smarts. And if you're smart, then you already know that there's no way that CM Punk would kick with a foot that was injured to re-injure himself and go down and cut the match short. And I was just like, I felt like when I watched, I forget which one it was, but I want to think it was Shamrock versus Tito, and they were doing that deal where they fucking had the UFC at the houses, and you had the two captains. And I said, "Oh fuck it, man, I'll watch this and see, see if and fucking Tito beat him in like 30 seconds. It was like $50. I was just like, fuck." So same thing, I fucking I taped it and watched it, but I fucking got sat down and was expecting to watch something there, and I was just like, yeah, fuck. Like, that's not good. Wasn't exactly what I was looking for. But
it's what was the company? I guess it was WCW, called themselves the Major Leagues of Professional Wrestling for a while there when Vince first went national. Or was it might have been Crockett, it might have even been the local.
Yeah, NWA probably.
Yeah. But that means something, the major leagues. And when you have a production crew and just the muscle that WWE has, and this goes back to TNA when I gave them my presentation about, it's you gotta be different than the leader. You don't emulate it unless you can.
Right.
But nobody has been able to since WCW.
Back in the day.
We don't need anyone, Steve. Do we? We don't need anybody. Here we go. There we go. We just did a whole goddamn show with... as long as we can play old clips from Kevin Nash shitting on people, we don't need anybody.
It's very similar to the KC Vault in that
way.
way.
It would have been would have been fucking hilarious, and I always think of this shit too late. If you and I signed on this Monday morning and did a straight 2-hour retrospective of the Bunkhouse Stampede final. This would have been the one. This could have been the one.
We did it live. It would have been live. It would have been 3 a.m. for me.
Right. And we would have gotten the show. And nobody could have said a damn word about it.
On Kliq This, we covered the Bunkhouse Stampede.
Right. But
Steve
we would have
and
missed
Sean did.
Kevin's exciting commentary on it, no doubt. And guys, this, if you tuned in late, it's over. It's Hurricane Ian has seen to that we had to do a best of clip show. So you got the best of the stiff ones of the week, man. Yeah, that's it, a little retrospective for you. And as always, Kliq This is a production of Butch and Sundance Media, produced in association with Podcast Heat. The producer who was on camera with me here, engineer Steve Kaufman, the entire time. Our graphics are by Dom D'Angelo. Title sequence and audio edit that you're listening to is Wesley Burleson. Theme song Dale Oliver. Technical research by Tristan Nash. He's got plenty of technical research to do today to figure out how to get that fucking signal back to the condo in Daytona. Copyright 2022 Butch and Sundance Media. I'm going to go ahead, Steve, and say that Kev is going to want to do another one next week.
I have a feeling he's going to have a bit to say about what he's lived through since Wednesday.
Then maybe we should ask the dog. Bring it back.
Hey, Kev, do you want to do another one?
Fuck yeah. There it is.
Asked and answered.